Hi, Sonata fans around the world. This is Stormbringer TV, and today we are here in Helsinki, Finland, because our all-favorite band is celebrating 30th anniversary this year. This is a good reason to meet the guys and have a nice little talk. And now I wish you lots of fun and joy with this little special about Sonata Arctica. I hope you're all doing fine. And an amazing year is starting now, because in the end of December you had your first ever rehearsal together. Did you do something special that day? Did you celebrate or remember the day?
I think I got a message from Tommy, but other than that, it just, we forgot it. It was just, before Christmas, so everybody had a lot of things to do. And it was me and Tommy only
Yes,
at that time.
I know.
So, yeah. So, I think we noticed it either on the day or like one day later or something.
Oh, yeah.
Probably on the day, yeah.
Just sent a WhatsApp message to Tony.
Yeah, I released it.
That was all. Okay, good. And now this year has started, and many things will happen to you in 2026. And you are going to release a new album. Can you tell more about that?
We're releasing a collection.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be mainly, of course, the most known songs of the band, and then we have one CD with which is live from 2 years ago.
Last year.
Yeah, last year, 25.
Mm-hmm.
And then some B-sides and extra stuff that hasn't been available before.
Oh,
Anyway,
that's very cool. And when will it be released?
We
Yeah.
don't know yet. There are some legal issues which are out of our hands.
Yeah.
So we will hope.
There's so many labels involved.
So, but this year,
But the new single will be out in 27th of this month.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now next month, actually.
Next month.
Next
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to ask too about a new song, because I heard there will be a new song
Yeah.
released, which did not find place on the latest album, I heard.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the official story though. But
Okay,
it was supposed to be a bonus track anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, we just decided to hold it for some other use later on, and so this is it then. And it's very current, what is going on in the world. A power metal song with a message, sort of, or touching the surface of today's
Okay.
politics and
Yeah.
such.
So you will publish a photo book
Yep.
with Christian Reuter,
Yeah.
and you collected stuff, photos together with the fans.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess you get tons of material.
Yeah, we haven't seen that material.
Yeah.
You
Only
did not see
Christian
that?
knows. Yeah, only Christian knows what we have had. So
he's
what
going
we
to-
done.
Okay, because I wanted to know if there has been some surprises, things you didn't remember, or some gems.
I am sure there will be. That we
At
have-
least all the pictures will be a surprise for us because we haven't seen them yet.
Yeah.
So,
But also there is going to be pictures that we have taken as well.
Oh yeah.
So of course when we were going through our old pictures by ourselves, there was a lot of stuff that we were like, oh, I don't remember this. And for example, I had a big file with I don't know how many hundred photos that Tony has been taking, because I was going to my computer because Christian was missing some stuff, and I'm like, oh, I found this. Tony has taken this picture. I'm going through and I'm like, oh, interesting, So we all sent in whatever old stuff we could find, and then on top of that, it's going to be all the stuff that fans send in. So I'm sure it's going to be quite massive.
Okay, and when will you release that? When will it be published?
In the spring at some point.
In the spring,
Yeah.
okay. And your tour is starting in 2 days in your own country,
Yep.
the 30th anniversary tour.
Yeah.
You are excited?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
We've been rehearsing now 2 days and played a lot of songs that we have been played in years.
Oh,
So yeah, it's
oh.
been really fun.
Okay, that's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of songs at least that we have never ever played live before.
Yeah.
At least two,
Yeah.
or there more. I'm not actually sure right now.
Okay.
At least, yeah.
Ah. And at the last day in 1 month, you will perform at the Icebreaker, Sampo. You perform on the frozen sea, so tell us more. I mean, this will be amazing, I'm sure. I will be there.
Yeah, the Icebreaker thing, it's not like a full show. We're just gonna play a few songs there, and then the full show will be in the evening.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but then the Icebreaker thing is a friend of ours are working with them quite closely, and he suggested this. You know, like maybe you should try to do something together. And we met up with the people who run the Icebreaker and all that, and we came up with this kind of idea. So it's like a birthday cruise, and whoever joins us there can go swimming in the ocean in the middle of the winter and all that. So it's really special. It's hard to describe, and I don't think however you try to say it in words, it doesn't really give it justice. So it's I mean, you will realize when you get there that it's something that it's indescribable. And even for us Finns who are used to winter and ice and all that, it's really an amazing experience. And we went there last spring, me and Tony and Tommy, just to shoot some promo stuff. But we came up with the idea, of course we have to try it out first, and it was really, really cool.
Yeah, I think I saw that post when you have been doing this. And you really, how can I imagine that you are sitting then on the frozen sea and performing?
Yeah, we are still working out the details.
Yeah,
You will
that's
see
it. You never know. We might have minus 30 there and wind.
Yeah, so.
So
Good
so
to know.
that's you know, you don't gonna
Even
play
you
any,
don't know if
yeah.
it will be too warm and the ice doesn't hold us. So
Oh, that
we
would
can't
be not
promise-
so good.
That is
Not that
unlikely
you're,
though, but
not
still,
that you're floating
but still,
away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
it's weather dependent thing.
But during the cruise, we are going to play at some point. So it's it remains to be seen.
Okay. Yes, and then you are booked for many festivals this summer.
No, I think most have been published. Maybe not all of the summer festivals or something. We are doing just a couple of short trips now, because the thing is we couldn't do a full European tour with this 30th anniversary because we are working on the album. So we cannot stay away from home for too long. We have to be back home working on new music. But we wanted to, of course, celebrate the 30th anniversary and also get out of the studio every once in a while and play some music. So that's why we do these short trips now during the spring.
Okay.
And end of the year there will be a longer European tour with Disney Black. So
Yes.
that's kind of part of the
Yeah,
celebration
I
as well.
saw that.
Yeah.
Okay. But there are no plans for Japan or South America, North America at the moment for this year.
There's,
Well,
yeah, of course there's plans that
We
we
are,
can't
yeah, we
tell
know,
anything
yeah.
yet. So
Yeah. We are going to announce the dates for Latin America maybe later this week. already.
Oh,
So
okay.
It's gonna be
Oh, they will
official.
be very, very happy.
Yeah, it's gonna be official in a few days. And I don't imagine you get this ready before that. So
Oh, yeah.
it's safe to
No,
say.
no, no. It is ready in March. It is
Yeah.
ready. So okay. After 30 years, which countries do you like to visit most again? Which countries did you enjoy most to be there?
personally, I would really like to go back to Australia because we have been there only once, and it was like I don't know how many years.
It was
2010.
Oh yeah, so like 15 years, 15, 16 years ago, and that was really really fun. We played in 3 places: Brisbane, Melbourne, and Sydney, and I really enjoyed that trip. But yeah, there have been many plans during the years, but it's so expensive to go there. So hopefully,
Okay.
in a couple of years, we can make it.
And which countries have been difficult when you look back over the years? I read something you have been in China, and China was not so nice to be there.
Well, it was a bit of a hassle to get everything to work, but that happens sometimes, and I don't think it's really not something that is country related, not even city related. You know, at some venues sometimes the stuff doesn't work, and that's it. It can be anywhere. You know.
In China, the main problem I think was we arrived like 6 hours late or something like that. So that
Everything was much more difficult then because we missed or we didn't get on the plane And so we actually landed when we were supposed to open the doors for the show, and so we were many hours late. So
I had blissfully forgotten the whole thing already.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me.
Okay, so here we have a first fan question. Sophie from Genf in Switzerland. She wants to know, do you have any phobias or some problems that make you problems on the tour? Maybe like spiders in South America.
No.
not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
No.
Okay. And I have a question to that. There's a funny story when you visited in your early days South America, and that you in, I don't know, Colombia or Bolivia, you had problems to breathe in the night, and you panicked and asked Dr. Google, oh, what happened?
Yeah, that was probably in Bogota when you get this high altitude sickness kind of thing, that it start to hyperventilate, and then you have to chew those coke leaves or
Okay.
have the tea or whatever, and it eases that reaction. But when you get it for the first time, it's like, what the is happening here?
I think the worst place was Bolivia, La Paz. It's like 3.6 kilometers or something like that. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, but
When we went there, I already knew what it's like, why. But you know, in the middle of the night, you wake up for something like that without knowing what it is.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay, and among all that, you talked about it a few minutes before. Look into the future, because you will release a new album. I did not expect that you do it so soon. I thought maybe you start about 2027, so I'm very happy to hear that. And yeah, can you tell us more about the new album?
I think worthy follow-up for the previous album. We're gonna stay on the power metal road with it. Not repeating it completely, the album obviously, but you know, but not straying too far away from the idea. The guys have not heard. Tommy has
We
heard
don't know.
something.
We haven't-
The rest of the guys haven't heard anything, and then I only have like maybe half the album written so far. So
Okay, yeah. So I mean, we know that you always have a bunch of compositions at home. So, and are there some special things, experiments you still like to try out?
there are financial issues that come on board the whole thing when you start talking about ambitions. You know, it would be great to do something with a huge Hollywood-style orchestra one day, but yeah,
Oh,
I need to win a Euro lottery or something like that.
oh,
before-
yeah.
or jackpot.
At least not the banjo.
Yeah, no, no,
Thank you.
yeah.
Not
Yeah,
anymore.
Just pure banjo. Next
I love banjo.
Yeah, me too.
I really, it's so
you can't
amazing.
not smile when you hear banjo. It's just,
Ah. No, because what I really would enjoy if you would do a whole bluegrass rock album with banjos and violins, songs like Wildfire 2, The Gun, Cinder Blocks. These are my favorite songs also, and I really would like that. I mean, you had your acoustic albums. Everybody loves this, but I think it would be amazing if you make a whole bluegrass album. And I thought,
bluegrass is its own art form.
but sometimes you played things like that. This was often played stuff like this. Yes.
As I walk alone, I wonder what went wrong with our love. It was so strong. And as I still walk on, I think of the things we've done together while our hearts were young. I'm walking in the rain. There's a falling and I feel the pain. Wishing you would be by me.
yes, Dale Shannon, or this is very nice, Abney Park. Very old. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Increased chances, I think, is the name of the song. It's from a computer game.
Okay. It is
Where did you find that?
from Abney Park. Oh, I have a lot of really old stuff.
Yep.
What tour was that?
Good memories, yes.
Sure, I won't let it go to my head. My mama's face has straight down into the dirt. But I'm still chasing Caitlin's whiskey and skirt.
This was 2012. One thing, why this 30 years, you had some style changes, and just a few minutes ago you're talking about it will be power metal, but what many fans would like, why don't you mix a crossover prog and power metal? Because I think now after 30 years you can play whatever you want because everything is okay. So just for me it would be cool if there would be not only power metal, so you can
Yeah.
mix everything.
I don't think we can make pure power metal. Son of Arctica never was a pure power metal, but I was just using the title as it seems to be the easy thing to put there. You know, labels need labels. That's how it goes, and people anyway, some of them consider Son of Arctica power metal no matter what we do. If we make something that is not power metal, it's power metal, but it's bad power metal. Like the lousiest power metal album ever because it's reggae. But that's how it goes. People are stubborn sometimes with their ideas. That,
I don't think the band has any albums that are strictly power metal.
No.
It's always some prog influences and
Yeah.
all that.
Even the
it's
earlier
all
albums,
even
yeah. It's
even
just-
on Ecliptica there's some really
Yeah,
progressive movements. So
yeah,
it's,
so-
it's always been there.
it's in our genes, the band's genes in a way that.
Yeah, once in an interview you said you had three phases. Phase 1, the wild phase, and phase 2 you said it was the crisis, and phase 3, the adult phase. And so you are still in the adult phase, or do we have 4 adult, wild?
We're 30 years old, so soon we'll be in the old phase.
The old phase, yes.
I think if this is some kind of new phase, it's the new calm after the pandemic kind of thing. Just everything seems smooth in a way. You know, that we have started drifting, and we have the control
Yeah.
of the thing right now.
And do you, after so many years, still think that phase 2 was a crisis? Because a lot of people like this phase most, and Desert Race is very popular for the fans. Unia got gold very soon.
Yeah, well, it still was sort of artistic drift, and would have been business-wise smarter to sort of stay on the narrow path that we were on. Though it wasn't really narrow at that point anyway, so we had done a lot of different things with the first 4 albums, but maybe we made two big changes on the whole production model, you know, the songs of course, and then mixing, mastering, everything, you know, just the production changed too quickly, and it just felt like crisis. I'm not sure if it wasn't really a crisis, really. That's it. It was just,
No,
you know,
I don't think so.
it was an adventure of its own in a a way, you know, finding ourselves
Yeah.
and then coming back home in a way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but these albums are fantastic, and so this is what I said. You can play everything today: power metal or bluegrass stuff or progressive. So everything is fine. No, I love all your faces, your fans too, as you will see now, because we made a set list for you all together.
Oh,
And
you should have given it before the rehearsals.
Huh?
You should have given it before the rehearsals.
Maybe there's some surprises, and I'm happy that Talula is not on every list. It's not nothing against Talula, but
Yeah, they got it right, yeah.
Good one.
Yhdellä me oikealla jäljellä on.
Yes. We're in the right path.
Yeah.
are there surprises for you?
Not yet.
Maybe
not
not
really.
too much, no.
And when you make your set list on your own, are you fighting?
No.
We are a bunch of old guys.
Yeah.
We don't have energy to fight anymore. So
Okay. Which songs would you delete, never play if you could?
I'm not sure if there are such songs.
Not tired?
Yeah,
No.
now if we say some song and then change our mind later,
Yeah.
it's gonna go against us. So
Yeah.
Okay.
The songs that we have played the most and we should be tired of, they are the most popular ones also, and we get most feedback from people and the best response. Because, you know, obviously if you are following us for a year and see 100 shows, you will get tired with the set list if it's the same all the time. But you know, we are changing the city and country all the time on every show, so it's we have to approach the whole set list thing as we are playing for the completely new audience each and every time, and not for that one tiny group of people who might follow us around. So I think everybody deserves to have the same great show that is naturally evolving during the tour. You might come up with some kind of speeches or whatever weird thing there, or things might go wrong or whatever. But you know, I think everybody deserves to have the same show,
Yeah.
and that's why we are not changing things that much on tours, because usually it's just like without any exception, it has
Yeah.
caused complaints.
Okay. So, but now you can do something for your fans. They like to know what each one of you like to play most, if he could. here we have next question. I hope I pronounce that right. Tomáš Dvorek from Australia in Czech Republic is asking, do you think Kimi is famous because of you? Today, are you celebrities there?
For some, and a lot of people outside Finland, probably Kemi is known by us. If you haven't heard it from me,
I think so.
well, I've heard about the Snow Castle or
But I
anything
don't
else
think-
that's coming out of there. But
I don't think Kemi is really famous.
yeah. As a,
It's not really famous. It's like
yeah.
But everybody knows Kimi because of you.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
and not the other way around. That's probably true.
Yeah. And can you go to the grocer there like everybody else?
We are like household faces there. Everybody knows us, and nobody gives a rat's ass anymore. Of
It's
course,
like
there's-
in small cities, basically everybody is a celebrity because everybody knows each other. So it's not a big deal, you know. It's like
Okay.
No, we have been there for a long, long time. So, but there was a time when it bothered me a lot. Had I been on television and the album, advertisement was all over the place. It's like, oh my god.
Oh, okay.
So that was, and of course, I was very young and scared of everything to start with. So nowadays, if such a thing would happen, I think it would bother my kids more than me. So.
Okay. And another question, Chiara from Italy, she wants to know which jobs would you have today without Sonata Arctica?
I was studying for media in Polytechnic, so I might be working for a radio, TV station or whatever, and probably right now would not be working at all. The way things are going. I don't know. I always say, almost as a joke, but half truth as well, that I would love to be a carpenter, like a fine carpenter, like make furniture and shit like that. I don't know.
I was in school before the first album, and I'm a plumber. That's my profession. But would I really like to do that as a profession? Maybe not.
Okay. And the rest?
I would be a metal worker, like a welder or silversmith even.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
a small education to be a silversmith.
Okay.
Artisan, yeah.
That's nice. I wanted to do something like this too.
Yeah, I have a studio, so I probably.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I could mow the lawn. It doesn't really matter. It's like
Okay.
Something hillbilly stuff.
Teach
hillbilly
Swedish.
stuff. But teach Swedish to kids. Yeah.
Okay. Your first single, unopened in July '99, was Flawed, and this was written in the book. Tony sounded like a cow in the heat.
Yeah.
And
I know the reason for that as well nowadays. It was mastered with one wrong kilohertz thingy.
Yeah.
It was turned from 48 to 44 or something like that, and that would happen.
Badly, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like that. So
Yeah, there was a mispress.
Yeah, you got it here. But you know that.
at this point, when we were listening, nobody could tell anything. We were at Steinfeld, and Tuomas Holopainen was standing next to us.
That's terrible, but the press said you are about to become the true metal newcomer of the year with that song, and so everything started and we are here. And soon the first tour came. As we know, it was not easy, your first tour. You had to stay in the bus all the time and no hotel rooms. And what is in your mind when you think back on your first tour?
It wasn't hard.
It was
We
hard,
enjoyed it.
yeah.
We were young. It was an adventure, the whole thing. We were camping, like kids camping.
And of
Kids
course,
wanna go
it was our
Okay.
first tour, and we never been in hotels on tours
So
before
we didn't
that.
know any
so
better.
yeah, it wasn't that hard for us. It was
Okay.
really fun camping.
Okay, there was a day in San Sebastian you performed the song San Sebastian for the first time, And that day there was a hailstorm and the ceiling dropped, the ceiling plates dropped into the venue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
That's
have been afraid
Yeah,
that
it was really scary
something
day.
worse will happen.
Yeah, everybody was pretty much. And then I never forget, because you know Rhapsody had already cancelled their show. They of course played later, but still at that point they had cancelled. And Jens Johansson walked to me, asking that what is our stance on the whole thing, and I was like, I don't think it's smart for us to play. You know, if more of those plates come off when people are inside, there are gonna be heads chopped off, basically, because it's
Yeah.
So I said that I think we're cancelling. And Jens just looked me in the eye and said that, have you ever been in a riot? And walked off. Like, you know, it's been raining and people were still like thousands of people standing outside waiting to get in,
Okay. Yeah.
singing and chanting and
Uh,
so yeah, everybody played and it was great. It was fantastic. Of course, you know, a lot of it, the fun and the good memories that we have of that day is the, you know, the stress being lifted from your shoulders when everything actually went well.
yeah. I don't have a video from that day, but I found something the day before. The quality is awful. But, and I think the guy, do you know that? The guy who filmed that was drunk, but here is the day before this day, and we have a very, very young Tommy and Tony there.
I look the same.
Quality is awful, but it is the day before that.
I haven't seen it. Furious. You are young. You haven't changed a bit.
But one thing I have been reading later that day, you two have been sitting in an empty hall and singing the Finnish anthem.
It was
Yeah,
a
it's Pelota
Pelota
Hall,
Oh, yeah.
really echoing. Like,
Yeah, he was singing Finnish anthem and I was crying.
Yes, yes, you have been crying because it hit you like a hammer what you are doing and realizing everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe we were a little bit drunk as
yeah,
well.
sensitive.
Oh yeah.
But you have been singing the anthem very often on stage all over these years, and I like to jump and then to the time into 2025, 15th February. There was an ice hockey game, and Finland defeated Sweden, and then this happened. You remember that? In the middle of the show,
Yeah.
some people said that this day you let the audience wait because you have been watching backstage. Is it truth?
No, we always talk in
If it might have been like 5 minutes or something like that, maybe
Okay.
10, but nothing like. There's one more, you know.
Back to the early days, 2002, you joined the band by getting drunk together. You have memories? I guess not.
Some
Yeah.
vague memories.
Here I have one of your first shows.
It's a show. Oh.
It was
Anteeksi, mä en osaa hirveän hyvin teidän kieltä, mutta mun mielestä on ollut tosi kiva olla täällä ja toivon mukaan pääsin teidän joskus takaisin. Ehkä mä voisin opetella jotain, mutta tuskin muista sitä yhtään mitään, mutta se on kuitenkin ollut helvetin kiva olla täällä. Yeah!
yes, it is Hiroshima 2003. You didn't speak English that time?
No,
he
just said in Finnish
he
that I
loves
don't
to
understand
go on anything in the world.
because
And
I'm
he's
Japanese.
had a wonderful tour,
Of course,
first
yeah.
time in Japan.
Okay.
Everybody has been so kind to him. And he kind of wants to wait to come back.
The reverse.
I don't remember that happening. Apparently it did.
Yeah, me neither. But I remember the tour itself.
Yeah.
And I also remember speaking for a long time at times there.
Yes.
Henka, when did Tony start to knock on your head while Full Moon? He isn't doing that from the beginning.
I don't know when it started.
Impossible to say.
You don't know? Yeah.
I have no idea.
But when I look here, it seems that you don't really like it because
Well, it depends on how hard it knocks.
That's
he
like
has to hunt you.
that's more like a joke.
Yes, of course. And here, you got kicks.
It changes from night to night. You never know
yes.
what's going to happen. Yeah.
Okay. You can be very nice to Tony, as we can see here. I found something. It was Wacken 2008, and
Okay.
so the switcher. And
I know what's going to happen.
yeah, you know.
Oh yeah.
We like to know, do you do that often? Or?
Whenever needed. That was like more like a ritual, like happened before every show for good luck, sort of thing, and it really actually helps. Start
Elias
like,
does that too.
So
also.
he's getting a massage and you get kicks later. That's a good deal. When you think back about playing in front of such a big crowd, you have been, I think, nervous when you enter the stage?
Yeah, there's always like healthy amount of
Sort of like excitement.
Okay. And is it still the same today?
I guess so.
After so many years?
It's like preparing for the show.
No, this yes, but I mean that you are excited, or is it more routine now because you played in front of so many people so often?
I mean, if you don't feel anything before you're going on stage, then you are in the wrong profession.
That's true, yeah.
So it's, of course,
Yeah.
there is something.
But this Wacken 2008, something was maybe a little bit wrong because you have this here. You forget the lyrics, the one
No,
song.
I can see shit. Some lights. That's probably one of the things that on many of the festivals, when it gets dark, you have this very strong like spot pointed at you from the front mixing
Okay.
console somewhere,
You don't
like
see
super,
anything, yeah.
and I can't see anything, and then it's like you're blinded by one very strong light,
And then
and
you
I don't
start
like that, and that's
yodeling in the middle of the song.
well, that was just for that moment. I was probably annoyed by it. or
Okay, yeah. But the same day we had this here.
something. That's
You
You
sang
did
like that
routine,
for
yeah.
quite some time.
yeah.
Okay.
It was. I actually had to think a bit to remember the original lyrics because I was doing it that way for a very long time.
Okay, yeah. What I'd like to know, is it true that the idea that the fans sing the first part of Full Moon is because you really forget the lyrics one time and the fans have been singing for you, or is it a
probably
mystery?
there's like probably because people seem to be singing along with the song anyway. So I've just you sing.
Okay.
It's like that. most likely.
Okay, so it is a fairy tale that it is started because the fans have been singing for
Oh,
you.
we can keep it like that.
Yeah. Doesn't really, either way is fine.
Yeah, okay. And last time about forgetting lyrics, because we enjoy that it is funny. Like here.
When you get distracted by whatever it is, you know, you might. If you think one wrong line, it's very hard to jump back because they are like connected.
But it is really nice that you are laughing about that.
Yeah,
so
what else can you do? Because
yeah, but we enjoy
not that serious.
very much. So this is live. I mean, otherwise you can buy a CD and listen to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had a long tour with Reckoning Night, and after that you had a little crisis. It was 2006, and you said either you want to do something different or quit the band. You couldn't bear it anymore. It was sad.
That was. We had a very long tour with not enough time off. And, you know, just we might have like 2 very long tours and only 2 weeks or a week back home in between those tours, and it was just too much at that point, I suppose. So
yeah, we were of the age also, like we got to go to some new places, like going to the US and Canada for the first time and everything. And when you're young and excited, sometimes you don't think about that actually you can say no to things. And we were just going like, and of course the management at the time, they just wanted to keep us on the road to make money. So it was, and we didn't think about that it would have any consequences. But by the end of the tour, I think everybody was really, really wrecked.
Yeah.
I think we went to North America 3 times on that one album.
Or 2 times at least.
Yeah, but there's like the short one and then twice. I don't know, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anyhow, and in Finland we noticed that we are rotating the same tiny circles. There were always people there, and it was good, but you know, just.
Well, it was too much, yeah. But then Elias joined the band and everything changed and was bright.
At least for me.
The band felt like in a honeymoon. Everything was bright again. What do you think about putting the band into a honeymoon?
Still going
you know,
on.
You know how it is, you know.
You
we're in love,
saved everything.
I have to choose my words very carefully, but you know, I mean, they took me really well, and I felt like home, and at the same time, I felt like, you know, I have new brothers, so everything went fine. Of course, I knew that, you know, there's something like down under, you know, of course, when Jani left the band, there must be some, you know, stuff under there, so, but, you know, everything went great, and after right now 19 years, so
It's a long
all
time.
good. Yeah.
Here's one of your first shows when I can open the link. Yes. Helsinki 2007.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I have to say no.
Hey, it is over. The word is over. You can't change that anymore.
That was the wrong name.
The wrong name. Okay.
Yeah. I remember something from those times.
Nevertheless, the price was higher than I had realized. I was still live alone, ready to make the sacrifice. Was I there with you, my old heart, even harder again? Once the lights go out, everything ends this time. Ready to cross the scene, ready to make the sacrifice, ready to play the note, ready to end the final show. The only thing I know. The pain is here to say I fear. In my mind, I can change my tone and make up mind. State of mind, silence is
And since that time, we have the nice duels between you and Henka when it is opening. Yes. We are having a lot of fun together.
I was young.
You all have been
A lot of energy running on stage.
We need more.
And tomorrow, exact tomorrow, 12 years ago, your first show with the band has been. Do you know that it was exactly tomorrow? It was.
No,
Okay, so we can have a party tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, or tomorrow.
Yeah.
We bring you cake.
And ale.
Yeah, no. And
Alkohol.
you don't remember that?
Yeah.
It was in Helsinki. Yeah.
I remember.
So,
Hyvä keikka.
Elias's first show was in Oulu, wasn't it? With pyros and everything.
Yes,
all
it
kind
was.
of
It was. Yeah.
here I have something that Tony is introducing you to the fans.
Vastaakin tullut enemmän. Hyvät naiset ja herrat, minulla on suuri ilo ja kunnia toivottaa omasta puolestani tervetulleeksi bändiin vielä kuinka monen kerran. Herra Pasi Kauppinen!
Your mom was there. That's my son.
This is in Australia. Because we have been talking about Australia.
Alright, we're gonna have some fun together tonight, alright? I'm gonna teach you something nice and really difficult, and it has two parts in it, alright? First part, you need your foot, and you do it like this. Alright? Come on now! Yeah, that's easy. Alright? Now, the second part is really tricky. You need your hand, and you do it like this. Oi! Excellent. Fantastic. Now, this is the ultimate thing, and I don't think in Europe, not too many people can do that actually. It's hard. You do this. Alright! Now I'm gonna sing a little song. Follow me in the chorus because it's not what you're expecting, alright? But you're a boy with a big nice playing in the streets, gonna be a big man someday. Got mud on your face, big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing Aussie, 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 Aussie.
I have a fan question from Australia.
G'day guys, long time fan of Sonata Arctica, all the way from Melbourne here. Just wondering, when are the guys from Sonata Arctica gonna come back to Australia? There's also this other band, really cool band, that wouldn't mind supporting you guys. I don't know if you've heard of them. These are derelict bunch of bastards. They're called Vanishing Point. Yeah, hit them up as well. They play all right. See you guys soon.
Damn.
Whoa. That was
nice.
nice. That was
He's
really
a
nice.
cool guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, will you answer his question?
Hopefully as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I said we have been talking about Australia and talking with promoters a few times as well, but at the moment the costs are a bit too high for us to get over there. So, but as soon as we can, and we would very much like to go back there.
On your latest tour, there had been some problems because of sick musicians, broken bus of Symphony X, so you could not make a tour prank. And I know
Or even
that
say
you
bye-bye.
love to prank, and here's one of my favorite.
That's my favorite too. Yes.
Thank you so very much. They haven't done this every show, by the way. This is the only time they've done this. What did you get? Yeah, I got it, yeah.
Okay.
Online.
Everything is
But normally you love to brush your teeth.
Yeah, it's a tradition.
So here we have a fan question for that. I have to make everything a little bit short now.
Hello, my name is Nick Johansson, and I have
Oh,
a question
Nick,
for
yeah.
Tony. What kind of toothpaste do you use?
I have two that I use usually. It's a Pepsodent, like this spearmint. That's my favorite, and then Elmex, this green sort of. It's better for your
Okay.
like
And Swedish snooze.
yeah.
Etta.
And the tour with Tungsten was also supported by Sirius Black. Yeah. Okay, I have another question about that.
Hi there, my name is Mo, and I'm a huge Sonata Arctica fan for about 20 years now, and I have a special question to Tony. When you go on tour, at the beginning when you meet your support bands and their members for the very first time, are you dressed or are you rather completely naked?
That's a very good question. I prefer dressed, but if I happen to be naked, then which is unlikely, of course. But yeah, then it is what it is.
It might happen, yes.
Yeah. But dressed. Yeah, that's a good one. Good one.
Yeah, we had to break up the last time, and tomorrow will be the cruise with the icebreaker. And you know a little bit more about the details now, because we know the weather is not minus 30
Yeah, lucky us.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. The weather has been getting better and better every day.
Yes.
tomorrow.
In the beginning, I saw +2 and raining, and I was, oh my God. Not on that day, but it is colder and more snowy, so okay, but it is a surprise for tomorrow. Okay, and I found something, and tomorrow for you it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and there will be a once-in-a-lifetime planet constellation. I think that is very, very interesting. It will be a very special day tomorrow.
Yeah. Julio, do you know what time that will happen? In the night sometimes? Or?
It will be in the night, yes.
We'll be safe. We're good. Nothing weird happens. The show at least.
And Pasi, did you get your cake? They promised you a cake last time.
Did you? Why?
I have no idea.
Why? Because it was 14 years that he joined the band. And you said, hey, you get a cake, so you get no cake. No,
that is a slick service.
It was just a commercial. A lot of
Okay,
cakes.
we believe you had a cake, so, okay.
There should be cake tomorrow.
There should be. Yeah.
There should be. Somebody promised us that there will be cake tomorrow on the cruise.
Okay, for us too?
I hope so.
Okay, I like to have cake too.
Me too.
Sounds good and scary at the same time.
So I could not show you the rest because here's another video from Mo.
Hi there, here's Mo from Sirius Black, and we had big honor to be on tour together with Sonata Arctica and Firewind, and some dates together with Tungsten as well in September and October 2024. And I've been a huge Sonata fan since I was 20 years old, and their music, especially Tony's singing and the songwriting, helped me through difficult times when I was a young man. And so I was really, really excited to go on tour with those great guys. And at the beginning of the tour, on the very first show, it was in Östersund, Sweden. The concert took place in a hotel where they had also a gym and a spa area. And in the afternoon before the show, I went to the gym for doing some sports. And after that, I went to the shower. And there was just one shower for spa and gym area. And the shower was occupied, so I had to wait in front of the shower. And then suddenly the shower opened, and there Tony Kakuo stepped out of it, of course, naked, just a towel over his shoulder, and it was a bit weird to meet him like this. I was like, something, anything or
nothing.
And I was like,
normal.
Because you go to the sauna so often, so for Germans it is like,
to meet you and to be a tour with you.
See everybody naked.
Then it was like, very special surroundings for a meeting for the very first time. But hey, my name is Tony. Great to have you guys on tour. It was a bit special, so we had to record that. It was a big, great tour. I will keep it in my heart for a lifetime. The Sonata guys are just excellent musicians. They are really heartwarming guys, and it was really a pleasure with you. So greetings out to you. Have a good one.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, nice people. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so I showed you the video from Elaine, and Elaine are at the studio at the moment, but I should tell you greetings and all the best for your anniversary. And Madeleine and Rika told me when you did the dresses, when you have been on stage, that they have been in your dressing room, they grabbed that pink dresses and they pranked you, and here you have nice video. So they told me they have been twerking on your stage, and you have some very nice photos, and I like especially this one because you can Elias.
I remember that.
Yes. And
Yes,
the
I do.
head of the guitar, I think it is placed that way. And so it is very, very funny. And yes, here are some group photos. But another time you have been pranked. I think it was your crew. It is very old. It is Paris 2005. It's a very nice memory. I call it the visit from the Dildo Man.
Where is everything?
Eikä ollut pikkusen heikossa pikkasen. Toipumaan päin.
What was that? Was it a member of the crew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or monitor guy. Yeah, monitor guy.
Okay. The monitor guy. Okay. And did they do something like this often?
No, there's sometimes someone came up with something nice, but or weird. It's not something that happens that often. That crew starts pranking on the band.
Yeah, normally it's a bands from the bands to do the bands, like support bands are doing that.
Okay. Yeah. But this prank while Lestrade Falls, we had a much nicer visit. While this song.
There was it. I know what you're talking about, most likely. Oh, this is not what I was thinking. Yeah, but this is different. Nice old same, same but different, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
I think it's a very, very nice memory.
Yeah. Charlie did that quite a few times. I was having a little bit of vocal problems at that point, so I asked her to jump in.
Was it that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So that was cool. For both of us.
I was wondering if you just had that idea, that it is a nice idea. Okay. So, but this is very special, and so we have a very nice memory.
Yeah. She's very nice. And a great singer as well.
She is, yes. Tom is fascinated.
What year was that?
In 2009. Yeah.
I was there, but I don't know.
Yes, I was young there.
Today's impressive. What tour?
Just
With delay.
With delay. Which time?
2009.
2009.
Yes, and this was in the Netherlands. And here I have something from 2008, again sharing the stage with someone.
It is time.
The internet. Yeah, notice. Sometimes the internet is not working in. Quality is not good, but it's very, very And later you covered that song? Later you covered that song?
I love this song.
spots and where it also good full moon and day, so it's really good. Well, I think it's like hi guys, you're there. That is important. Yeah, miss those guys. I really miss those guys.
I think they miss you too. You remember the
video,
from Chris?
Yes.
But another, I think, very important cover version in your career was Ari Koivunen. He was winning the Finnish Idol 2007 and was winning. And the song was well known already that time, but was it a hype for that song again, that it was published for such a big audience again?
Yeah, of course, because there was like a million people watching that show on
yes.
TV. So
It got like the attention of the general public instead of just metal fans. And it's a big difference. And same thing happened actually to Talula song. And it's the same. It was the same here, was it? Yeah. Agnes, yeah. Agnes Pilava sang Talula in the show. So I think so.
So it was
I remember I was writing those songs for their albums
all of you.
at the same time.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
And, but still, 2017.
Tämä oli aika vakuuttavaksi, niin vaan sieltä lavalta, kun se laulu aika hyvin. Who is this young guitar player?
Very handsome.
Exactly. 25 years ago, he looked like that.
No, it's not.
No, it's not, but he looks so young. He's not old, but...
Not a compliment when you say you look so young.
I have to say here now. It's a color exchange.
He has a great voice, Aria.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you plan it or was something
On the spot, basically, before the show, or during the show even. He was standing on the side of the stage, and Mike was like, you want to come and sing? Yeah.
Okay. So, and cover versions, always you have been doing a lot, and you have some nice memories there. This is from 2004.
This I do not remember. No idea.
I don't know that you made cover versions of that song.
Well, that was just
a small part of it.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the song. Just to
okay.
be like over a solo spot or
Okay,
something like
so
that.
it is good to know because there are some people who thought that you made a cover of this song.
No, we never did. No.
Okay, that's good. And,
Sure.
but another thing, I really love that. Excuse me while I kill myself. Made a cover. Sometimes cover quality is not good, but the video is so rare.
Yeah, live cover. We always consider cover songs the ones that we actually record. So that's the difference here.
Yeah, if you just play something live, sometimes it doesn't count.
Okay,
One of my favorite songs.
that's the reason you will make it.
Good songs.
Oh yeah.
Such a great song.
And great band. It's really great.
And I think today you have so many songs that you have no time to play things like that anymore. I think Harley can sort out your own songs. But one cover version I like to show you because the people still love this. It is actually on many set lists, and this is a very, very old version from 2000. Very, very young Tommy.
Yeah, we were all. Tommy was very.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. No.
Sometimes you made fun with the fans, and we love to remember that. And here I have a version with drum kit. It is with bananas. And one time for a show you said you're always happy when you get drumsticks because sometimes you get bananas or dildos. Did you get dildos one day?
Never.
Okay. So it was a joke, but
I think there might have been dildos on a mic stand before the encores sometime. I'm not 100% sure, but at least. But I've done this in a larger scale. In Santiago, Chile, for example, with like 3,000 something people there, and like creating the drum kit out of those people.
Without the bananas.
Without the bananas, yeah. So that
but
is
the
really,
banana version is very nice.
yeah.
And this here, Fun with the Audience, did you do this especially for the US because it was in Springfield 2008?
Tracks. Yeah.
Was it a special for the US fans?
No idea what this is yet. Can't remember. We'll see. Yeah, that is probably but I've done this in many places and that same thing as well, fortunately. So it became like a thing during the show that I do something stupid like that. Like in Switzerland, I have this cookie clock that I made out of chocolates.
Okay.
Everybody look at how to do it.
And here, sometimes when we make fun, this is the fun beginning of full moon.
Well, that happens to same things. It's a very easygoing moment and you can do pretty much anything. Well, this is something I don't do anymore.
Yes. This is why I show it.
Yeah. I like that joke. Very good.
And then we had a lot of special moments when you had technical problems. And
Those are gems.
A lot.
Oh yeah.
A lot. That's really Sometimes.
Yeah, well, sometimes we have a lot of technical
problems
at the same time.
These technical problems gave us such lovely memories.
Another thing is higher than the original key, actually, even so. It's not.
No, but it's very nice because other bands, when there are problems, they just leave the stage or stay there and look stupid, and you make fun with it.
Of course, the show must go on something. Sometimes it's easier if we just leave the stage and let the crew sort things out. Depends.
But for the fans, these are really nice memories. Also, they had problems too. I think it was the bass guitar.
All the ladies in the house, come on and let me hear you say, I'm no good with maps, but I have a highly developed emotional intelligence.
Yeah. And next I'm gonna tell you that breakfast is the most important beer of the day. You need to remember that tomorrow morning. So, God damn. Life is life.
We've got ourselves a bass player now, so give him a big hand.
There we go. We don't have a bass player anymore. Let's play some jazz.
It's called Victoria's Secret.
It's very heavier than the... Yeah, that was ways back, like the first
because I
time.
don't remember it happening last time.
And
The mixing guy.
here was something wrong with the snare drums.
Well, hey, yo. So everybody in the house say, yo, yo.
When it breaks, it breaks.
Yes.
Don't forget about it.
So sing it first.
Yeah.
So
but for your fans, it is lucky when something like this.
yeah, it's usually
is
it makes the show,
Yes.
gives us some kind of extra weird energy. Even if it's frustrating and makes us like even angry sometimes, it just turns into something into good energy towards the show.
One of the weirdest of your shows I ever saw when it is opening. Yes. This is Sun and Thunder in Spain. And I don't know if you recognize that so much, but after a while it was very hot and windy, I think. and you can see people swimming in the sea. That's very funny. And suddenly there will be so many people on the stage and busy while you're flat.
There are a lot of things that happen that I don't see being in front of the stage and concentrating on the audience.
I think so. I saw this and then I was like, wow, did they recognize what was going on around them?
This was not too long time ago. Where was this again? Where we are. Right.
Other people,
It was really good, yeah.
So here you see people busy behind you
And that's normal on festivals.
Yeah,
The problem is that because of the wind, our backdrop is not there, it's high. So that's what goes on behind the backdrop usually. But because of the wind, we can use it so that we see it.
Other people are setting up their things. So there's nothing wrong there necessarily in that case.
Okay, so you are focused on your set and you don't see that what is around.
We are doing our thing.
As long as it's behind us or outside,
Okay.
it comes in our circle of...
It doesn't affect our...
Because for the fans it is, wow, what's going on there?
Yeah, but for us we do our thing as long as it doesn't affect what we are doing.
Okay, yeah. Two things, you do every show, your signatures. One is keep live music alive.
Yeah.
When did you start this?
Some years back. I
Yes.
don't know, I can't remember exactly,
I
but
think I know, maybe it
Yeah,
was
it might have
2016 or 17.
around that time, yeah. Yes. I don't know where the first time was, but it was very spontaneous and that's it.
I think I got this version. It was in Brazil.
This is not the first time though. This is more prepared than the first time.
Yeah.
I don't usually
But
write.
I think it was
Yeah.
this time when you started.
It is around that time, yeah, but that was like something that I had thought of a little bit. The first time was absolutely something that just came spontaneously and it was.
You are keeping live music alive!
But how important is playing live to you now after 30 years because so many things changed? Is it, I think, maybe more important than even release an album because everybody can stream that?
Both are important.
Yeah. The shows, their importance it's more emphasized, I think, these days. And the albums are, for all the bands, I think, unless you are just starting your career, as album sales have plummeted for every band, and it's mostly streaming and such things. So what kind of band you are live, it has become so much more important than it was back in the day. Of course, it was important always. It's good live show, boosted album sales and so forth, and that's probably the same thing now. More having a great show and people come and stream your music more. But still, I think, like, for many reasons, the live shows are very important, more important than releasing an album. It's just an excuse to go on tour, but that's too harshly put. I think because we try to come up with as many as sort of classics as possible on each album, so that we would be able to play the whole album live, and it would be just bam, done, the whole thing. But usually it is so that we have like maybe 2 or 3 songs that end up being played live later on, and the rest are just somehow dropped, ignored for some reason, because we already have so many albums that we don't have necessarily time to play the full album anymore, unless we are playing more than 2 hours. With one album usually it's 50 to 60 minutes or something like that these days, and then of course we already have a lot of shows that we have to play the older tracks, and so it's getting increasingly difficult. But
Maybe we should make shorter albums.
Shorter?
Yeah.
Just-
No,
Just-
longer albums.
Just release booklets.
Don't make shorter
Backpacks.
albums. The other signature is the Vodka song, and
This I do remember when it started.
Yes, and I have a question for that. Jean from Ghent in Belgium liked to know, when you performed the Vodka song, do you still remember its origin, your birthday illustrator, when you were
Yes,
so
exactly.
sick?
Yeah. That's when me and Timo Kotikoto started singing backstage. Vodka is Vodka. I do not remember when it became a part of our show ending, but sometime pretty soon, I think.
Yeah.
Must have been like maybe Silence album.
I think it played.
It must have been very hard skill. Yeah, so.
Because I remember so much it came up. That we talked about that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like you explained where you came from. Because I have
right.
had no idea.
So you had You keep later. We have it better.
But no Sonata show without that song, and here we have a nice version. Okay. We are drinking vodka and served by, I don't know if it is an elf or an ogre with that ears.
So they have monitor down.
Different, it's always the monitor.
Was this a special day, last day of the tour?
Tour ending, yeah. I don't know where at all. That's
Where? Amsterdam, 2007, and I know it exactly where I have my glasses. 26 November in Amsterdam.
Forgive us a little bit. Extra. Fix some sticks. But is there something you need?
Okay, so I like to talk about your fans. You have a very, very mixed audience, more than other bands. Are you proud of that?
Yeah, it's like a good and bad thing at the same time, because I think our fan base it doesn't reach deep enough in either either area, in a way that not everybody knows us, but like from all spectrum of life, a lot of people know us. So that's a good thing, and we get a variety of fans, and it allows us to release variety of different music styles as well, if we choose to do so, and that's probably the reason we have fans from a wider range of life, mode of life, and I think it's a good thing. But you know, for a lot of bands, it has worked really well that they just concentrate on making metal music and being really like a believable in what they do in that sense, and go full throttle towards that, and everybody in metal scene knows that, but nobody knows that outside of metal scene. So it depends, but for us it's good, I think.
Yeah. Sometimes people say that you are a girl metal band, and then they're laughing about me that I'm a fan because they know what kind of music I listen to normally.
Yeah.
But then I love to show them songs like Tildas or White Girls, and then these people are, wow, cool, what is that? And then, hey, Sonata Arctica. Yeah, no, that can't be. So. I think a lot of metal fans should know more of the songs of your albums, and then they would not say anymore that you are a girl metal band.
Yeah, I think that's the case. We have a lot of closet fans as well. A lot of people really like us, but they are not admitting it.
Yeah, but these people are...
being a girl metal band.
Nothing.
I enjoy having like female side of the audience in the front row.
Yeah.
Plenty. Instead of a lot of guys with leather gear.
So, but you have very, very cute
nicer for me,
audience. I like to show you something.
You disagree?
Yes.
Mieluummin soittaa jotakin semmoista, mitä vaimokin tekee.
Yes, next generation.
This is so cute.
Gateway to metal, about here.
I love this.
Oh yes.
And I have another nice video of special fans. Here we have the guys. But they, maybe you know this, they make a hot flip.
Just make a thing out of this hot.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you should. Didn't you recognize this hot flip that day? Okay.
Well, probably we saw it, but we didn't realize it was like how complete it is. It's just like people having a moment together. Just
So, but you have the guys too in the audience, and they are making a hot flip.
no, that's good.
And very, very special fans you have in Argentina. You know this video, but of course you know it, but I like to include it in the film. I always get goosebumps when I see that. It is so amazing. Yeah. Maybe you know they had a fan club meeting last Saturday. You don't know? Okay, now you will know in a few seconds.
Onnittelut 30-vuotisjuhlan-juhlosta. Terveisin Sonata Arctica Argentina. Happy 30th anniversary, Sonata Arctica. We wish you the best from Argentina. We put our love. Thank you for all these amazing years. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's heartwarming. That's wonderful. It's amazing. Easy to love these people. Oh yeah, it's so much fun to go back there and again.
Yeah, a few months.
Yeah.
These are very, very nice people. They help me a lot with that, what I'm doing here. So they sent us this video. What do you think? Why is it so special in Argentina? Why are the people there are so enthusiastic?
No idea.
No idea. Well, they enjoy speedy,
like orbital type thing, and metal in general, I think. And melodic music, and of course, us coming from the cold north, we come with certain exotism at the same time. So I don't know. I don't really care, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're absolutely fantastic. It's just, you just go like, all right, cool.
It's
People show
amazing
up.
to have that parade. Reason behind it? No, I didn't. And that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I love to see that too. So when you play there, and I follow this group, Sonata Arctica Argentina, and I always, or they post something. Today is release day of this album, release day of this song. They know everything. They are so much into the
Wonderful.
band.
And I oftentimes get the information. Oh, it is a release day of this and that album. From them, actually, still are
Okay.
at it.
So before we come to the last part, the fan questions, there's something special we Germans like to know. Because it is old, you know it, but there are some mysterious we like to ask. You had a favor to speak German, especially the Days of Grace tour. And there is one thing we like to know what it is.
Ah, right.
Yes, you're right. What is that?
Geburtstagsscheiße googeln, Gessi. Was? Geburtstagsscheiße googeln. Geil, Geburtstag. Scheiße googeln. Daten.
I don't know what I was. It was something I enjoyed. It was fun to say. Because it's totally something unexpected. And I see that get the confused face of the person who's being asked.
So it was just some German words, put together. And
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
you
of course I.
that it is funny, so.
Yeah, well, I do speak a little bit German, so I've studied it for 5 years, and I'm totally shitty with it. Anyways, but I know enough to compose sentences like that.
Another thing, Tommy, did you really know what you say, or did you just say something?
Oh my god.
Yes.
I know only the bad words.
Yes, but was it like? Did you know what you say? Okay. No, because your face was so innocent, and I thought, okay, the teacher
was young and
finished a funny sentence, and hey, you can say this to everybody. So, okay, you knew what you said.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last.
Never confess.
The last, what we like to know. First, you have been talking about schnapps, and then you asked him something, and what is that? It is okay. Because we have been wondering about, and then we thought, okay, he only can mean Jägermeister.
Yeah, exactly.
So we are right. Okay,
Yeah.
then this mysterious is cleared too. Good. So then last part, the fan questions. Some send it.
Hey, my name is Ethan. I'm from the United
Europe.
States. And my question for the band is, how do you consistently keep coming up with new lyrics, songs, and melodies and keep it fresh?
That's for me. I don't know. I just don't like repeating myself too much, and I try to come up with something that entertains me. Every song that I write. So sometimes I don't make that sound. It's very loud. How about that? But and that's probably the starting point. Always try to entertain myself. Yeah. So I take that sort of as a veiled compliment at the same time. Someone wondering such a thing. So I'm very happy. Thank you. I'm happy you think so.
Okay. So the next one.
Hey guys from Zona Antarctica, my name is Leonardo. Greetings from Veracruz, Mexico. So here's my question. Many people, me included, think that some of your best songs are usually often bonus tracks. How do you guys choose a song for a bonus track? Is it randomly or is there a process involved? Thank you and see you on live show soon.
Back in the day, like the early our career, we only I wrote only bonus tracks for Japan because you are required to have something there, or at least back in the day, because importing an album from Europe, for example, to Japan is cheaper than buying the local album. So that's why you need to have something extra on the Japanese edition of the album, so that people have a reason to buy and keep the local music industry alive. So I like intentionally wrote many of the, especially the early bonus tracks, and they just happened to come at the very last moment of recording the album. So hence we didn't have too much time to put into them. And if that song was like super good, it was quite unfortunate for the album, but great for the Japanese people because they got a really really good song as a bonus track there. So that's how that came to be. But I hate writing extra material that gets buried as a bonus track somewhere. And it's just you have to like give equal love to each song. And then if it happens that we have 12 songs, for example, and we can have 11 or 10 on the album because of the length or whatever, then of course we have to choose the one that does not fit on the album for one reason or another. If we have like 2 slow songs there, it might be that it messes with the roller coaster ride of the album to have that there. Or it can be a speedy song that we need to pick out. Maybe it's not like best of the best of the best of the songs there anyway. So that might be a reason as well. Of course, you kick it out then, and that shall be the bonus track then. That's even though it's a great track, but it's so much better otherwise.
Like bonus tracks too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes years later you go like, maybe we should have gone a different direction. So.
Yeah. So this one.
Hi, I am Kim from Frankfurt, Germany, and I have a question for Tony. Tony, why don't you have any tattoos? Thank you so much for answering in advance, and I'm looking forward to the next shows of yours next year. Thank you. Bye.
That is a good question. I promised myself that I'd get a tattoo when we get our first gold disc. That was in 2001. And I still have none. And I just didn't come across, or it wasn't a reason enough for me to have anything big on me. So I still lack that, but I've been thinking about it for a very long time. Now I'm 50 and I still don't have a tattoo. I'm sure if I'm ever gonna get one, but maybe one day. When I became a parent, that is one thought. Have something that the kids related, tattooed there, like their names or whatever, some kind of image that means something only for me. But it has to be something super meaningful for me, and I just don't have stickers on. So of course it would be really rock and roll. That's all. Like, no piercing, no tattoo.
It's never too late.
Hey guys, my name is Carlos. I'm from Mexico, and my question is about going back in 2000 with Henka. Henka, what happened with the guitar that you broke in Tokyo? And did you put it in a frame? Did you just give it away, or just put it in the trash? Thank you guys for your music. Thank you guys for 30 years of good music, and cheers. Love you all. I hope you in Mexico soon, so I'll be there for the 30th anniversary tour if you come. So
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, what happened?
Tony started to throw out some of the keys, and then the rest like threw out in the orders at some point. So somebody in Japan has it, yes, or pieces, bits and pieces of it.
I think it was like somebody, like the security.
They tried to get it back, and I said I don't need it because it's broken. It was, and then they gave it back to the family. And that happens with the bass ones.
I think there was something wrong with the keyboard. It was like your super best keyboard.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. It was, but you know, it was something that it was worth to make it a show element.
Yeah, I've done it a few times, and then
it's scary.
The trash ends up in the audience.
You did it a few times?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's scary to have like pieces of plastic flying around on stage.
Huh.
The keyboards are more dangerous than guitars, for example. Guitars usually stay somehow intact, but like plastic keyboard
But
just
it is
explodes.
special. I mean, everybody can have a Spectrum or a drumstick, but a piece of a guitar, that's nice.
Yeah.
You can break one tomorrow, so we all can have a piece of it. Okay, so last one of the videos.
Hello from Tina and Better Half Bully. We would love to know if there's a chance that we will make another acoustic album, of any plans for it. We really love both albums, and we think there's a lot of great songs there that still could be used for that. Navigate, for instance. And we really love the tours. That was really a big highlight for us. And on the side note, also now that we have the 30 years anniversary, any chance that we get in the Tricky Beans demos in its raw form, a normal form from the tapes? We know that, I know that, of course, there's remakes out there, and you can get them on YouTube, but it would be nice actually to have them in better versions, so to speak. And I'm not so lucky yet to have the tapes. And that was basically all for us. See you out there soon, hopefully. And Happy New Year.
Well, thank you. We are not saying no. We definitely have a lot of material that could be turned easily into an acoustic complete version of itself. And it was fun to make, and I love those albums myself. At the moment we are concentrating on this normal side of Sunadarka, but that's great to have as a backing plan. If like what happens so that Tommy breaks his leg, he's going to be out for 7 months, then we
Yeah, you're actually suggesting for somebody to break his leg, so yeah.
Sorry, brother. Yeah, but it is something that we could actually,
You can do it
even without that.
Tommy breaking a leg.
Yeah, and we like half jokingly have said that it's like a retirement plan as well, because it's like a harsh reality that Tommy won't be able to do the 170 beats per minute double kick drums when he's 80. But never say never. But like that's how it usually goes, and even before you're 80. So that's an opportunity that we can still keep live music alive from our half, to keep going acoustically. So it would be fun, but let's see if we have time and energy to do that at some point. And then there was the question about the Tricky Beans demos. I don't really see that happening myself. If a lot of things should happen that we start meddling with the early demos. I think they are more valuable as they are, as like a rarity, and if you get your hands on the original tape, that's something special, and I don't think we should be doing that thing, at least from those people who have the actual original ones.
Oh yeah, and it's a big part of that fun of those demos that we are not that professional players that we recorded those demos. So I'm pretty sure that some of the elements are gone when we are starting playing them now. You know, like it's way too tight or
Yeah, there are like pirated versions of those tapes on there. Saying that we only sold like 100 to 200 or 300 of those demos ever, and I still have like a box of those tapes and like the covers, like the foldings.
You still have some?
Yeah, I have some uncut. They are still in a digital form.
so maybe next year we will sell them.
Yeah, webshop, yeah. Well, that would be an option. Have them out there, as the original ones.
Okay.
Look what we found.
They will be gone in 5 seconds.
So last questions. This is a cute one. Because of this, I choose it. Liza van Dijk from Rotterdam in the Netherlands. She likes to know which movies make you cry.
Sad ones. And it can be a
Oh shit.
But you know, it can be a very happy movie as well when something that touches something deep inside happens. You know, or it can be a glorious moment.
Yes.
Like Lord of the Rings. You bow to no one. That's a great one.
Lord of the Rings, I'm always crying the last 20 minutes still.
And there are a lot of movies that have that effect on and series as well. It's not that difficult to pull my heartstrings in that sense. At least.
If you don't like to name some special movies.
I don't really watch that kind of movies.
I guess last you're afraid you will Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump, yes.
I like it.
That is a movie you can try to watch.
Which one's Forrest Gump? I heard you said Donald Trump.
That's a decent movie. Yeah.
That you can cry to.
Different movies have reactions.
Yeah. Oh, beep. You need to bleep that name out of
Okay. So Ashley Davis from Columbus, Ohio, want to know what are you most proud of and how do you envision Sonata Arctica in the next 10 years?
Well, hopefully doing what we do right now in 10 years still. We're not that super old. Hopefully we have gone on some kind of next level to an extent, a few steps up. And we are still able to make living with what we do. There are still people who are listening to what we do and following us. So it's a very fortunate thing that we've been able to do that for 30 years, 26 years now, basically.
Okay.
Hope to just keep doing that.
And Luis from Tulca in Chile, if you had to summarize 30 years of Sonata Arctica in one song, which song would it be?
Super easy question. Amy.
Yeah. We always look at the bright side of life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe.
Burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
That's an impossible question to suddenly from the top.
in my head at least.
Okay,
So
we
because
just-
tomorrow I would come up with something totally different. So.
Yeah. Okay, so we can skip that.
Sorry.
So, and Jack Cowling from Berkshire in England, Wrecking Night marked a noticeable evolution in your sound. What were the main creative goals or inspirations when you began working on the album? And if you could capture the essence of Wrecking Night in a single phrase or emotion, what would it be? And Don't Say a Word has become one of the band's signature songs. Did you realize during writing or recording that it would have such a lasting impact? And he says, thanks for the music and the memories.
Oh wow, that was a long question.
You want to read it again?
Yes, please. What was the question? No, just kidding.
Like that. Actually, no.
Well, sound-wise, Hendrik playing on that album was one noticeable evolution. Yeah, we had two keyboard players basically in the band, and that two really keyboards. Yeah, it was evolution definitely. You know, having a new keyboard player in the band, and both of us.
Both wanted to play at the same time. Well, we did.
Yeah, the more is more, but it's not really so in all the cases. In single phrase or emotion, it was certain weird. Turning point in a way, not only because Hendrik came there, because I think a lot of things were set in motion by that album. It was Janni's last album and played on the Indigas, obviously, but touring more. And the tour was super long. And it was.
For me, that is a really special album because I became a father first time during the drum section of that album. So when we started rehearsing the songs for this tour, there's like a couple of songs from that album, at least one. So all these emotions became like, this I remember when I recorded this. And
yeah, that's nice.
So that's why that's the special album.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I was shocked because it was my first album working on this kind of level. I made albums before, but it was always on really tight budgets. So you rehearse everything very well first, then you go into the studio and try to work fast. And with these guys, you go into the studio. we had like I think 2 or 3 songs ready, like somewhat ready. That we knew that we knew a little bit about. Then we go there and do nothing for a few hours, and then we're hungry, so we go and eat, and then we come back and then we play some computer games, and it's time to go home. And we did that for a few months, and like this is what is it? Yeah, and I was like really confused. Like, totally new experience.
Yeah, and that it made it also, I think, stressful is the word, because that kind of way of working, which already started with the previous album, Winterheart Scale, that the album was not ready when we went to the studio. I kept writing while we were in the studio. Diamonds under pressure kind of approach, but it was too much for many reasons. It was super stressful for me and for Tommy, for sure. Me sending a demo of a song in the morning, and Tommy just like trying to get a hang of it,
And then after the studio day, I went to see my newborn.
Yeah,
so it was like really stressful. And of course, at the same time, it was the happiest time of my life.
But you could not be there.
Yeah, we were recording here in Kemi, so it was a problem to go there after the studio to see it. So, but it was really stressful time at the same time.
Yeah.
Don't Say a Word. It was a special song for Festival. We knew that this was going to be a single. It was a special song in that sense also that it made lists. It was like, was it number 1? Or something like that on 2 separate lists, like singles list and EP. Basically we released like a single and an EP with the same name, so that was weird. So yeah, that was
clear that it's gonna have an impact. And we played it, I think, summer. What's the festival in Germany? Summer or something? Summer Breeze. That's where we played it for the first time for the audience who had not necessarily often heard the song. Of course, even our fans. So that I remember playing that song live, which is rare. I usually don't, but that stick to me. And, thanks for the music. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
And then you have Nicolas from Argentina. There are 2 albums that never got an official video clip, Ecliptica and Ritterratsguild. What songs would have been recorded as video?
I wish I've seen a video from Destruction Began. That's one of my favorite songs from that album.
Unlikely song for a video being so long, but yeah.
But still, yeah.
So, yeah. And well, there are like Kingdom for Heart, Full Moon, Black File, Replica,
Obvious Songs.
Yeah, it's like songs like that. And then, yeah.
Great songs and great videos. Okay.
Well, the Ritterratsguild was the other album.
Yes.
Yeah. What do we have there?
The Cage.
The Cage would be one.
One of my favorite songs, yes.
Seen all of it.
Oh yeah, the program would have been nice, like social video as well.
Yeah, there was this live video from Japan.
That album has a lot of great songs, actually. In my opinion. My humble opinion being the writer, but yeah.
You can make a video clip out of every song. Okay, Ruben Garcia from Mexico. Greetings from Mexico. Your music has always inspired me. Since storytelling is such a huge part of your identity, what is your biggest inspiration when writing the stories and melodies of your songs? And thank you for all the incredible music throughout the years.
Inspiration.
For the lyrics especially.
Lyrics. Nature oftentimes, and of course moving and everything. It can be just about anything. Looking around, seeing a basketball hoop there, writing about it.
Okay.
As sort of scaffolding lyrics, like the beginning point and then changing the hoop to something totally different.
Okay.
Like your love or something. You can do such things. First, write really stupid lyrics and let yourself sort of puke all over the song, and then just make it beautiful. Get the idea. Probably the last line that you write on the song, that's like, oh no, take everything out and just leave the good parts and then rewrite the song. It's a process, and you need to trust it. Also in your life.
Okay. And Fatima Ortega from Chihuahua, Mexico. Hi, my dear boys. I am Fatima, and I have 2 questions for you and a special request. First, who chose the opening melodies for the shows?
Like, I think...
No, it was you.
Yeah.
Last time it was you as well.
Sometimes I think we talk about it like it's not necessarily me. We have a talk about it because like what I chose would have been different. This tour, for example.
But is she talking about? Is it about the intro tape or the first song?
The intro or the first?
No, the intro.
Intro, right? Okay, then.
The opening melodies.
Yeah, opening. Okay, intro. Okay, the show intro. Oh, I thought. The song was it depends. Sometimes we choose something that is already there, or like this time I created the whole thing. I wrote this from unopened the melody idea. Started working on it and took me a couple of days, 2 or 3 days.
Okay. But that's interesting to know. And what are your favorite things to receive as a present from the fans?
Jerseys. Soccer jerseys, yeah. Basketball jerseys.
Yeah, those are really nice because you can take them with Sometimes people don't realize that when we travel, we usually don't have so much stuff with us, and especially if we fly in. Then, like, well, these days people tend to be more aware. That I remember, like, sometimes years ago, somebody comes with something really big, you know, like, I made it for you. I'm like, it's really great, but how am I gonna get this home?
Yeah.
Yes, I understand.
Please do not bring us a fish. a huge painting. It's super difficult to, as wonderful as they are, but they are just impossible. Yeah, but it's like it's all of a sudden if you start shipping things from Latin America to Finland, it's suddenly hundreds of euros at least to make that happen. So it's not worthwhile. As lovely as your painting might be, picture is like appreciated greatly. This is called that gear called keep it yourself, and we appreciate it. We luckily sign it for you if possible, but it's easier if you want to actually gift us something. That's greatly appreciated. It would be great if it's something that is not too heavy and it doesn't break super easily, and that we can put it in our luggage. We only have small suitcases with us.
Okay, and she said, and please add Cure for Everything to your set list. Thanks and happy anniversary, and I'm waiting for you here in my country, so you will go to Mexico.
Yes,
She can be
please.
happy.
Which is yes.
And Selena Molinero from Argentina, has anything a fan said or done ever sparked a song idea for you?
I can't remember really. Maybe subconsciously, but nothing that I actually wrote down that I'm gonna write. People have sent me even lyrics, like complete lyrics, like great ideas and such. But it's much easier if I come up with the original idea myself. Also because of legal reasons. But I'm sometimes a little bit jealous of my own work in a way that I want to just do it myself.
Okay.
You do you, and I do me. So it's easier. If you have a great idea, make it happen. Make it yours. Make it beautiful.
Okay. And is there a song, movie, or book that inspired your music that fans would never guess?
This one book, Power of One, which I wrote a song by the same name, and the story was, the song lyrics were heavily inspired by that book. It's one of the rare books that I've actually read twice.
Okay.
So it would have an impact.
Okay. And she'd like to know, is there anyone alive or not you'd love to make a track with?
Brian May.
Okay. So we call him. Now we will come to the end. Last fan question is for Sonata Arctica Argentina. Looking forward, what's one thing you still dream of doing as band?
There are some countries that I would love to go to. Iceland, for example.
Oh, you never played there?
No, we have not, and that's something that is somehow realistic.
Okay.
Go there.
I really love to go back to Australia.
Same
here. Yes.
And Hawaii. We've been there.
Yeah.
It's not a country, but still.
And then more like almost fantasy, like Antarctica. Like Antarctica, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
And some place in Africa, because that is a continent that we have visited. If there is some place in Africa.
Is there an audience you in North Africa?
Like there are, at least in some point, there were quite a few bands that played in South Africa. And it's, of course, it's basically tourism, more or less, but it would give us a chance to go there. That would be something very nice as well. And of course, there are, like I mentioned earlier, about being able to create a larger show, like stage set. I mean, being a bigger band, that would be something nice to have, like a nice rise
towards the inevitable end at some point.
What's the explosion?
Yeah, exactly. Disappear in the starry sky
Yeah.
one day.
Okay. So, and last word is for you. If you could take a DeLorean, go back in 30 years, what would you change?
My birth year. I think I should have been born much earlier, maybe 50s or something like that. It would have been easier. I would have been a teenager.
Then you would be old now.
So yeah, it doesn't matter.
So you're not feeling old enough?
Yeah, no. It just wouldn't matter. I would have been alive here, and at the time when rock and roll was raw, and there were so many things that were done before, musically and otherwise, and we didn't have cell phones, and life was more simple.
I can understand.
There's like no extra stress over social media or anything like no emails, and if you wanted to touch someone, you should, and the only way was to actually touch by a letter or something like that, actually write a letter or something, but better time to go.
And the rest of you?
Of course. That's not something realistic I can tell my parents to do. Just go and do it earlier, before you were born. Change. I would tell a very young me, when I started making my own money, I started working when I was 15, to make certain very good investments. That's one thing that I would do.
Like Bitcoins?
Yeah. First, I would say that to go buy Nokia stock.
Yeah.
I would have been able to do that back in the day when they were cheap, before there were cell phones or anything. But it was just Nokia. That would have been a good investment. And then, in a certain point, sell all your Nokia out and buy Apple. And then, whatever chance you have, buy Bitcoin. When you hear about Bitcoin for the first time, do that.
Okay, and the rest? What would you change?
Nothing. I'm happy.
That's
Nothing. No, all good.
Welcome, and thank you so much that you take the time to talk to me.
Thank you.
So, what I'd like to know is, when did you meet the band for the first time?
The first time, I think must have been 2011 or so, 12.
I have 2009, I have.
Oh, that could also be possible.
I think that was the first South American tour.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Then I think I was only involved with one of the shows, but I think since 2011 or 12 or something like that, that I'm the Latin American agent, and so now I'm setting up all the tours, everything in Latin America for them.
Okay, since that time.
Yeah, the first tour, that I was not on the tour together with them, only I started working with them since they started being managed by Till Down They Count, the Finnish company. So that was when I set up the first tour. Now I don't recall if it was 2012 or something like that.
But since a long time.
Yeah.
How was
14 years already.
Yeah, how was it like when you met them the first time in South America, the guys from the north?
Very, very funny, because of course, Latin America, mostly warm, hot, and the first tours that we did, was in the summertime there. And one of the tours, that was really funny, I think it was the second tour that I set up, or the first or the second one. And it started in the north of Brazil, in Recife, which is one of the warmer parts of Brazil. And it was something like 42 degrees positive over there. And at the same time over here in Kemi, where they were, it was 30 degrees negative. And so that was a 70 degrees difference from one day to the other. And then I think they were somehow a little bit lucky, because just the few days before they left here, the temperature over here rose a little bit. So it was minus 30, but on the day that they left, it was like only something like minus 10 or something like that.
It's
so
still cold.
it is still cold, but like there is not 70 degrees difference. It's like only 50 degrees difference. And so of course, well, they also not know like 50 degrees difference or 70 degrees what we were expecting. And like, let's get a lot of water for them because it most probably they will need it.
And Sonata, they have a very special relationship to the audience there.
Yeah.
Why do you think are they so successful in South America?
Their music, it's like sentimental. It's like in, for instance, Latin America, Brazil, this music that typical music, Brazilian music. It's like sentimental music, and the Sonata Arctica songs are like the metal version of the same style of music, actually.
I understand. Okay.
So it's like it's like etching, like, and those, because of the sentimental music, that's like they exploded over
they
there.
touch a special nerve of the audience.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And so how often did you be tour manager for them now?
Well, since in 2012.
Every tour, but it was
every tour.
3 or 4 tours now, or 5?
No, 5, 6,
5, yes.
no, more already. And like we did, I think 2012, 13, 14. No, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2018, 22,
a lot of times, yes.
24, 25,
Yeah,
and now
I
this
saw
year.
that.
So.
Yes, exact. And this year again in September, the
Yeah.
tour is starting.
Yeah. And it's going to start this time in Mexico. And then from Mexico going, working down and ending in Brazil. So Mexico, let me check which countries, Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, oh okay.
Yeah.
I think they
Peru.
did not play so often in Costa Rica.
No, that's right. I think only once or so. But now they're going to play there. Actually, like most of the countries down, and then ending in Chile, Argentina, Brazil. Uruguay is going to be included also again.
Okay.
Colombia, Ecuador. I'm thinking about which countries. So it's big. It's like 18 shows.
Yeah. And I think this is a big logistical challenge. You are more on the road than that you are on the stage. You
Yes,
have to
it
travel
is.
a lot.
Yeah, all by plane. That's the only way to travel around in Latin America. Only inside Mexico there is parts that they can go in a tour bus. But like distances in Latin America are so big that you cannot go by bus. Only in Brazil, from the south to the north, it's like 4 days in a bus already. So you cannot do that.
No one likes that.
Nobody does that. So everything has to be done by plane. So it makes it logistical a little bit harder. Because there is actually, when you have a tour bus, like in Europe or the US, after the show is done, pack everything up in the tour bus, and there's the beds, the bunks that people can sleep. So while the driver is going to the next city, most of the guys can sleep, or everybody can sleep if they want. But in Latin America, no. You have to break up everything and then go to the hotel and then sleep if you can a little bit, and then in the morning very early have to get up already, go to the airport, sit and wait until the plane, etc. Because you have to do the check-in, you have to be there 2 hours, 3 hours before the plane leaves, and then sitting again, and then flying, and then on the other side going through customs again, and then having transport to the hotel, etc. It's like way more tiring to do a tour in Latin America.
Yeah. And then maybe it is hard, and it's not easy.
No, it definitely is. it's a bit harder. But on the other hand, when you're then on stage and you see the enthusiasm from the audiences, it's so heartwarming. It's worth all the hassle, all the trouble, everything.
Yes, I saw these videos, especially from Argentina, and this is so. I got goosebumps.
Yeah, I can
see
imagine.
That. This is,
I even have those still. And I've been to Argentina. I don't know.
They are very, very
so many
special,
shows in Argentina
yes.
already, but like even I get those. It's like really good.
Is it true that the gap between poor and rich people in South America sometimes is so big that fans are not able to buy a ticket and that they have to stand outside to listen?
Yes, that always happens with shows. It's, for instance, with Sonata Arctica, like the poor and rich is like very divided. There's like a huge amount of people that really cannot afford tickets for shows. The fans from Sonata Arctica, for instance, from the more melodic music, those are normally not the ones from the poorer classes.
Oh, okay.
The poorer classes, they normally go for more extreme music. If you have then German bands, Creator, Sodom, or whatever, Napalm Death from England, that's more the kind of music that they are more into the poorer people, because it's more, they have more struggle in life actually to
I listen
succeed.
to that bands too. I have no struggle.
No, I set up tours for them also, for all of them. I've worked with all of them. But it's like the people that are having, like, let's say, financially a more difficult life, more struggle in life, they tend to listen to more extreme music.
Yes, they don't listen to that melodic.
More melodic and more
nice
romantic.
Yes.
No, their lifestyle is a little bit different. It doesn't mean that there is not poor people or poor people from the poor area that like this, like Sonata kind of music.
Yeah.
They also do, but it's not like the majority.
So I think when you have no special memories.
Well, special memories. It's always like you go to new places. Like for instance, if we Sonata Arctica has done like, I don't know, like 6, 7, 8 tours in Latin America, and come all the way back to Sao Paulo, Buenos Aires, Santiago, Mexico City. Those cities are always in, and so it's more like they're also used to those places. But then when you go, for instance, when we started the tour in the Northeast, in Fortaleza or Recife, any of those two cities, and it's a beach city, and that's for them was also completely new. So then it's really more, how do you say it? Yeah, a holiday feeling actually. Although it's not a holiday because they're there to work.
Yes.
But like you get more like a combination of work and holiday feeling, and everybody wants to see like the specific places, like go to the beach and see that, or see special monuments. If you are in Rio, for instance, I'd like to go to the Christ statue on the mountain there. This thing that everybody wants to see that.
I have been there with them last tour. I saw the pictures in social media.
It's really good, those kind of things, and there's always like new places, new cities, or new countries, and then it always gives that special extra feeling, because it's like it's really good to go to Santiago, to Buenos Aires, Sao Paulo, but it's not something new. It's like something that they've done. It's on all tours there, and it's great, but you don't have the feeling like, hey, this is something new, special. It's like it's special because of the show with the audience, etc. But like something different, something that you didn't have, that you didn't see, and that gives them like a more holiday edge to that part of the tour. That's always good. Getting to know new places.
Oh, this is very exciting. Happy to see so many of you here today, this morning. Hope you slept well. Oh my God. Everyone feeling okay?
Yes.
Did you go floating?
Yes. Yeah.
Who didn't? Yeah, no, I understand. Well, we are gonna play you a couple of songs and then a couple more, I think. And all right.
Let's see.
Oh, I hear everything. Wonderful. Let's see how it goes. If it sucks, we'll restart, all right? Hyvä kone.